Shalom, Kahala Yahweh Shem Shai, demonished to the Apostle Elder Great Millstone and Ruel, and salutation to the brethren on the four corners of the earth, posting the word in truth and sincerity. I wanted to go into a little bit of prophecy. The United Nations, or the European Union, they are building a continent-wide super army, and really that super army is geared towards the prophecy of Joel chapter 3 and the prophecy of World War 3. And I just wanted to bring that out because this is something that scoffers don't go into, because they can't go into prophecy. A lot of guys, they want to claim this type of righteousness or that type of righteousness, but what are you doing towards the bettering and towards the coming of our Lord? This is Sirach chapter 39 verse 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies. Because the prophecies is what prophecies are what brings down the oppressive society that you're in. Prophecies are what are what measure your faith. You measure your faith by the prophecies. We measure who we are. As Israelites by the prophecies of the Most High. So it's only right that we occupy ourselves and we teach the prophecies, that are coming to pass, and the prophecies that are going to come to pass, and we teach the history, which are the prophecies that have already come to pass, But I just wanted to get into this EU super army here. Now this is a clip from RT. This was actually 4 months ago in June. They were having talks about building a European army, and now I have an article that actually today it was just ratified that for the creation of this European army, or the EU army, to actually begin. I'm going to play this clip really quick.
The chief is pushing ahead with closer security cooperation within the bloc amid plans for a single European army.
We need a common headquarters and a coalition of EU countries acting in accordance with the permanent structural cooperation of the EU treaty. From such a group, an EU army could eventually arise.
Earlier, the president of the European Commission admitted that in the long run, a single European army is needed to ensure a, quote, credible foreign policy. There have been reports that the new force would be formed out of the Franco-German Brigade, currently a military cooperation project between the two states. At the moment, the brigade is a symbolic special military force of the EU Eurocorps. However, NATO has been extremely skeptical about the creation of a single EU army.
NATO and the European Union must not duplicate their efforts. We don't have the money for it, and our taxpayers don't have the patience for it.
And Rainer Rothfuss, a geopolitical analyst and consultant, says the EU is struggling with security problems of its own creation.
It may seem at first glance as a project of a peaceful European Union which tries to defend itself to growing security risks from outside, but it turns out that those security threats are all self-made with the Middle East crisis that has been triggered largely also by those falcons in the different governments, and the internal security threat of the increasing numbers of refugees streaming into Europe, of which we do not really know who is coming and how many terrorist elements are among them.
So there we have it. Now this was an article created, this was a video created 4 months ago, but now today, according to various news articles, but this is from the investmentwatchblog.com, the EU is ratifying this European Union army today, So this actually, what they were talking about is actually being fabricated as we speak, and it's going right in accordance to the prophecies, of World War III. So this is the article from Investment Watch blog. It says EU will today ratify the creation of a continent-wide super army that will be up and running next year and blame Brexit for its creation. Brussels politicians convened in the French city of Strasbourg to thrash out the plans that will cost taxpayers 420 million euros a year. They will vote on the issue to establish an EU-wide system for the coordination of rapid movement of defense forces personnel across Europe later today. If agreed, Britain will not only be forced to foot the bill because of its timetabled for before the triggering of Article 50, but it will also be legally drawn into it. Bizarrely, the EU claims it needs to make a position of European defense minister and roll out a massive army because of the Brexit. So basically, they're using the prophecy of Daniel chapter 2, about the toes of clay that are partly strong and partly broken. With Britain's exit of the United Nations, they're planning on building a worldwide super army and just using that as a bogus excuse to do it. It says wrong. One of the reasons people voted Brexit was because we didn't want to be part of the EU super army with French police on our streets, etc. As for being footed the bill, if it's true we can afford it, all of this just scaremongering, Brexit will happen and we'll thrive because of it. So now they're saying, okay, well, the whole reason why, we wanted to get away from the EU so we wouldn't have to be a part of that super army. But the EU found a loophole, saying, well, you violated this, so you're really compelled to be a part of the army anyway. The European Union army will be up and running in less than a year after the MEPs today voted for the creation of a super force which can override NATO. So they already have a world continent-wide network in the United Nations, but now they're trying to push this army to be up and running within a year, and they're claiming this to combat NATO, is to override NATO and do the things that NATO can't. But brothers that are in the know, we all know that basically they're creating this continent-wide super army to basically make the armies of the world more manageable. You have the Army of Canada. I forgot what the coalition was. I forgot the name of it, but it's a joint coalition between Canada, America, and Mexico. And then you already have the BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Then you already have the SCO, the Shanghai China Organization, which is China, Iran, Iraq, Russia, Vietnam, and then you also have not only have those world armies, you got United Nations, you got NATO, now you got this new EU army, and now you have Japan and other countries around the world, refurbishing their armies, reestablishing their own armies. So now what's happening is these armies are becoming more manageable. Get an army in larger sizes and combat them in smaller groups. So that way, they can compress the armies into one world fighting force. This is Psalms chapter 2, verse 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and rulers take counsel together against the Lord. And that's what this is about, man. This is all against the Lord. This is all against to fight the Lord in the valley of Jehoshaphat, man, at the battle of Armageddon, the valley of troops. That's what these super armies are for. They're not. They claim that to keep the peace. Keep the peace from what? What do you need a super army for? You need an army big enough to fight a big enemy, which that enemy is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder, cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. Which, the Lord, has, the Lord will have them in derision. Slakia, He's going to destroy them ultimately. Going back to 2nd Ezra, the 2nd chapter. Let's read a little bit more of this article. It says, the vote was not supported by everyone in the Strasbourg Parliament. Let's see. Astonishingly, it has been agreed that the EU should also be prepared to act autonomously in cases where NATO is not willing to take the lead. However, the EU is celebrating its victory, claiming the security situation in and around Europe has worsened significantly in recent years due to challenges like terrorism, hybrid threats, or cyber and energy insecurity. You know, so now they're saying, okay, well now the super army is coming together to stop the security issue all over the continent. But wait, I thought that was for what Interpol was for. You know, their international police. Thought that's what that was for. You know, so they're just using all of these excuses as a ruse to establish a super army, man, so they can fight against the Lord. You know, which is nothing but prophecy. You know, like Scripture said, you know, I can be occupied in prophecies. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come to the valley of Jehoshaphat. You know, and that's exactly what the Lord is setting the stage for, man. All these international armies that are being built or being established are only being established so they can come up under one banner. You know, they're making the armies more manageable in size so that they can take these armies and conform them into a new world order fighting force. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about, you know, and that will make it easier for the Lord to destroy all of them at once. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for the wickedness is great, you know. And we see a glimpse of this sickle being thrust in the harvest, you know, in Revelation chapter 14, you know. This press is talking about a wine press, you know, a grape press, you know. And the fats overflow, meaning there's going to be lots of blood, man, you know. It's Revelation 14:18. And another angel came out of the altar, which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had a sharp sickle, saying, Thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. You know, and those grapes are the people. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of the Most High, which is that valley of Jehoshaphat. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horses' bridles. So there's going to be a lot of blood, man. You know, there's going to be a lot of death by the space of 1,600 furlongs. You know, so Yahweh Shai is going to destroy and going to put a lot of people to death, man. It not only makes sense, you know, if there's a new world order or, you know, super armies in the valley of Jehoshaphat. This is Joel 3:14. Multitudes and multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. You know. So that's the valley of Jehoshaphat, man. That's the world new world order fighting force. You know, being destroyed at the hands of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. You know. So with that, this has been this has been another Bible prophecy that's coming to pass. You know. So with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect of the four corners of the earth, pushing the word and truth and in sincerity. Shalom.